Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again because I finally wanted to get around to talking about what I did for my birthday on Tuesday. As you guys can tell, I am still sick, and so this is going to be another year, the second year in a row where I've been sick on Christmas because of somebody else who's not considerate and spreads their germs everywhere. So that's how it is. But on my birthday, I wanted to discuss like all the little things that I did and like everything that made the day great and everything that made the day so and whatever. So I started off with this has been kind of like an idea that I have where, well, I actually had a lot of ideas for this birthday because I get really like paranoid about the birthday, honestly, because like holidays, I hate holidays, because they're always terrible. They're never good at all. I mean, you guys saw that like even on Halloween, I chose like two really shitty horror movies to watch. I chose like two movies that I never thought I'd watch again unless it was to review them, which I'm going to have to watch that bad movie again next year to review it. So, there. But yeah, like I just, for some reason, every holiday always turns out terrible. It didn't always used to be that way, and, it's still, it can be pretty good at points, but the birthday, though, I always get paranoid, and you guys saw last year. I made a checklist. I did a fucking timeline, like a schedule, an itinerary type thing. I was like completely obsessed with getting that day perfect, and everything went wrong in a funny way. From the Oregon package, which if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, then go watch that video because I don't want to talk about it again. I can still remember the smell. And then to, bowling and being so tired that I couldn't look for more artifacts at my old house, to all the sorts of stuff happening. And so for this year, I had a lot of things that I didn't end up doing, and so I just wanted to go through those with you guys. Just so you know what I might have done that day. One of the things I wanted to do was a yakisoba taste test. Because I used to get cheddar yakisoba all the time. I would get it every week, one or two of them, to have like as a snack or to have for breakfast one day or 2 days. But Kroger took it out of the stores permanently, the cheddar kind. And for some reason, they're really rare and hard to find, these different flavors of yakisoba. So, it's like a ton of money to get like all the flavors on Amazon. So I was just not able to get them because it's too much. Like they force you to buy packs. So you have to buy like 10 of each. And it's just not worth it in my opinion. Like unless it was like a party type thing where I had like 9 other people who also wanted to try the flavors with me. That's something that I could have done. But yeah, I didn't do that. I was also going to do a couple of other things, but I decided not to. Like, this is the second year in a row where I have not gotten a cameo for the holidays. Because, like, ever since I got my first cameo in 2019, I've been, like, really into getting cameos. But after all that happened this year with, like, I wrote a bunch of, like, autograph requests, and I never got one back. And then the thing with, like, we couldn't go to Texas because of, the health problems, and then the cat issues. I was just kind of like worn out from like getting like things like that, like I just didn't want to after all that that happened. I mean, I went to so much trouble to do all this stuff. I went to so much trouble to, like, plan out that Texas trip and to make it perfect. And, you know, I tried really hard to, you know, get healthy by the time that I could go. And it still wasn't enough. And it was just too much. And so I didn't get a cameo. I did get 2 other cameos, though, for my work. Because I wanted to get more opinions. Since, you know, on this movie, it is basically just me. And I don't like working that way. I think that that's been one of the things that's kind of held me back from finishing the movie, is that, you know, there's no one else to work on the movie with. So, you know, it's like a lot of stuff just, you know, bouncing around. And it's like, that's not how I like to work at all. Unless it's like a specific task. Like making a miniature or something like that. And we will talk about that later. And I would also like to say, too, that both the cameos were... Well, one of the cameos was awful. And it was probably... And maybe I should just talk about those here, since on the worst moments of the year video, there's not going to be enough time to talk about all the stuff I want to talk about regardless. But this first cameo, it was really, really bad. Like, it was so bad. Like, and I'm not going to say who it is. Let's just say she has very short hair, and it's light colored, and she was in a movie that was 2 movies in one. Okay, that's all I will say. And you can figure it out yourselves. But she basically just read, like, word for word my request in a way where it sounded like she was telling me things. If that makes any sense. Like, she just completely, like, didn't... It was just, like, so, like, bland and dull and just, like, robotic. And it was like she was completely disinterested. Like, thanks for the money. Okay, your request is this, and she said something really, really bizarre, and it is basically so hilarious that it is like a meme. Because I mentioned that I was making the movie, and I mentioned that I didn't have any help, and I was just doing it all myself, and she said, there are stories of people getting help before. And you know, I hope that you get the help that you need. And it was just like such a fuck you. Like, she's just like, there's stories of people helping other people with, you know, that type of thing. And I was like, yeah, I know. I wonder what that's called. And so that was like an epic failure. Like, I just, that cameo pissed me off so much. Like, it almost made me want to not ever, like, get a cameo again, because, like, it was so bad. And then the second one was fine. Like, it was another, like, that wasn't really worth the money. I mean, honestly, I've been really, like, starting to get a little, like, not totally into the whole getting cameos thing, because it's like, you pay someone money to do something that they should really be doing for free. I mean, they should... I don't know how it would work, but, like, it just doesn't seem right anymore. Unless it's like, I don't know, someone really, really special. It just seems like another way for these people to make money off of people, and, you know, I don't like it. Because that, you know, we spent so much money for that Texas thing, and we weren't even able to do it. The only saving grace with the Texas ordeal is that I was able to get a refund on my photos and autographs that I was going to go get, and that's the only good thing. But still, that's terrible, because that would have been such a good trip too. It would have been such an amazing trip. But anyways, I didn't get any cameos. The things that I did get, I got like weeks in advance. I was gonna get one last thing, but the person fucked it up, and she's obviously like a really crappy psychic, so like she still like hasn't responded to the last message, so like I'm probably not gonna get anything from her because like that's just shitty like customer service, having to wait around like that. And it was also a thing too where she said that we could do a reading at a certain day at a certain time, and I texted right at that time, not right at that day, hours in advance. I texted her, and she never responded. And it's like, well, fuck you. You're shitty as fuck. I'm not paying you shit. So one of the things that I got a reading from someone, and I don't know if I should say her name. I'm not going to reveal everything that was said in the reading, obviously, because that's private. But she is a very, very big deal psychic. She's like 70 years old, and she is extremely popular. She does the cast of The Sopranos. The actors from that show, they go to her for their readings. She's in New Jersey, and she charges $175 per session. And the thing is that I've been trying to get a session with her since July. And it's because my friend actually recommended her. I have a friend, I have multiple friends, but one of my friends is a witch. And she recommended me that I get a reading from her as well, because she's really, really good. And she said that, she's the real deal. She really is the real deal type of thing. She's not one of these people who say that they're real and then they're just like, making money because they're artists and they can't, make a living off of art. So I was actually not able to get a session at first because this woman, she books her readings years in advance. So she was booked up for, I think 5 or more years. Fully booked. You can only call her offices on Fridays. And so I kept calling every single month at the end of the month. So August, September, October. And what happened was she gave me the idea. Oh, wait, no, it was in November because I didn't call in October. I waited until November. She gave me the idea that, wait a second, the secretary did. She said that if a reading gets canceled, then you can send in your money. And if it gets canceled, then, I will put you in that person's spot and you will get the reading instead of them. So what happened was a couple of people were late with their payments because you have to pay a month in advance for this woman. She is that big of a deal. And so I sent my check in to pay her, and what do you know? A reading just so happened to open up on December 6th at, I think 1 p.m.? I can't remember exactly. Oh, wait, no, it might have been 11 a.m. I can't recall for sure. But this psychic was very, very nice. You could definitely tell that she was from New Jersey because she had an accent. And I really liked the reading. It wasn't what I expected because, honestly, unfortunately, one of the downfalls of the reading was that it was only 20 minutes. And another thing was that she spent most of the reading talking to me about anxiety, because she had huge anxiety problems too when she was my age. And so she said that I reminded her of herself at her age, at her young age, because she had the same type of thing where really the cause for the anxiety has nothing to do with anxiety. It has to do with being open spiritually, and it has to do with receiving these messages and these visions that I've had of my past life, that is the reason for the anxiety. So, she was trying to help, and she did a good job with that because, I know that months ago, like in July, I would have very much appreciated that advice, and it would have helped me out a lot at that time. But by the time I did this reading, I've already, progressed so much, and, I shouldn't have mentioned the anxiety, because once you mention the anxiety, if somebody else has it or whatever, they like to talk about it a lot. And so she spent 95% of the reading talking about anxiety, instead of doing, a bunch of stuff. Because, I was hoping that in the reading that she would, just, tell me a bunch of things and, just keep on feeding me with info. Because at the beginning, she said that she sensed that there was a birthday coming up, and I told her mine was coming up, and so that was kind of cool. And then she did this part where she connected to the other side, and she revealed that there were a ton of people there wanting to talk to her about me, specifically. And at first she mentioned, I'm not going to say who she mentioned or anything, because that'll be too personal, but after a couple of messages, she asked me if there was anyone I wanted to hear from, and obviously, this is where I wanted to hear from Sharon, and I asked her to speak to Sharon, and apparently she's there, and she's right there, and she said a couple of things, but then the psychic didn't really reveal much of them, so... but she did reveal that she could sense that in my past life that we were together, and so that'll just be the another psychic, guys. That's the fourth psychic, the fourth one who has confirmed that I am in fact who I say I am, and it's not anything to shake your head at or say no, it is very much a real thing. And I was glad that she gave me that confirmation, even though it wasn't really necessary, but it was really nice. And so, I guess it was okay. But then I made the mistake of getting another reading instead of getting a cameo or something that I could have actually enjoyed. So I got another reading, and it was a piece of crap, honestly. It was there you go. And I don't even want to reveal what happened in that reading, because it wasn't even that. It wouldn't be interesting to you guys. It was a little interesting to me, but it wasn't what I wanted to know about, obviously. But I will just say that, it was revealed that in one of my past lives, not the one as Jay, but another past life, I was a writer as well. And so that's why I'm so good at writing now, is because I was a writer in that life as well. And that there's some other things with that too, though. But it's not really worth mentioning. So yeah, those were all kind of a fail, unfortunately, but what can you do? What can you fucking do when you get a bunch of stuff like this? It's hit or miss. And I will say too that, when I talk about the other psychic readings that I got throughout the year, those were a lot better, from another psychic. She gave me a lot of shit to think about, and a lot of stuff that I still haven't even figured out. So now we should get to the birthday. On my birthday, I had a breakfast that I haven't had in a long time, and that is 2 protein bars and G Fuel. And of course, the G Fuel, unfortunately, has to be caffeine free until the anxiety is fully gone. And it was pretty good. Like, all the food throughout the day was actually pretty good. But then I spent most of the day actually shopping. Originally, I wanted to get a haircut and I wanted to go bowling and shit, but I couldn't do anything because I was sick with this whole sinus thing and then other stuff, basically like a virus, a respiratory virus. But I went out shopping anyways, and it was a nightmare because I had these sinus problems, and I had to put on this stuff on my face to make it better, and it was terrible, and it was just not very fun in any way, shape, or form compared to like what it could have been if not for being sick. And there were several fuck-ups too, where we were, I was so sick that I wasn't even thinking straight. I just wanted to get out of the store and go home. But we forgot to get the coffee ice cream at this expensive store, and we forgot to look at something else. So, and then my mom, because she was with me because she was not sick at the time, she picked up the cake, and I'll talk about the cake later. And unfortunately, there were no number 5s in the cake shop. So she had to go out later and get the number 5 specifically, all by itself. So that was another funny thing. As I told you guys, like, shit happens on my birthday, and so it's like I try to plan it out. I try to, do something good, but like, I think like the biggest lesson is that for next time, I need to make sure that I'm not sick, and then pick those damn things I want to do. And if I get one psychic reading, I'm not getting a second psychic reading because one of them might not be any good, or both of them might not be any good in this case. And so I will want to get like something good to celebrate. So we were heading towards the Kroger because we had to go to this expensive market, and then we had to go all the way to Kroger, and then we had to go to McDonald's to get a drink. And then we had to go get my drink at Longhorn Steakhouse, because one of the things that I had planned to do, and I will be doing it again next time, because it was very, very good. It was one of the best things about the day. Speaking of the good things about the day, so the Kroger shopping was hell too. It was a nightmare. I actually got coffee ice cream at Kroger. I got Haagen-Dazs. Even though I really don't like Haagen-Dazs. I'm not a Haagen-Dazs fan. I really like Turkey Hill, but then for some reason Kroger stopped selling Turkey Hill forever, and it really pisses me the fuck off because, like, that was my favorite ice cream, and it's so irritating they don't sell it anymore. But then we went to McDonald's, and we went to Longhorn Steakhouse because I wanted to get a Mr. Pibb to have with lunch. Because Mr. Pibb is my favorite soda. I think it's so much better than Dr. Pepper. And Longhorn Steakhouse is the only restaurant that has it. Wendy's used to have it, but then Wendy's became a trader, and they switched to Dr. Pepper. And so I don't even order sodas from Wendy's anymore. I get a Frosty, if anything. So we got to the parking lot, and also I had to get Safi some soup for lunch. She wanted to have soup from there, and I got a salad too. And the salad was pretty good. She gave it to me, so that was something kind of unexpected. I got an extra Caesar salad, which was cool. But it was funny because when she went in to get the drink, this family came, and, I've been getting a lot of messages lately about, not like messages online, but like spiritual messages about a certain character, I guess. And it's related to the Valentine's Day movie script that I've been writing. I wrote it, like 70% of it, and then I paused because I was worried about how long it was getting, and so I wanted to take a pause and take a breather before I went on. But it was really funny because this family, they had this little kid, and it was a boy. And I believe it was just a boy. I didn't look over because I feel kind of awkward looking at other people in the parking lot sometimes. Well, actually, sometimes I don't. Like, sometimes I just can't resist because, people are so funny looking or interesting. But one of the kids kept on running out. He started to run out while a car was coming. And so the mom had to keep on shouting his name, and she kept on shouting, Valentine, Valentine, to come over here. I said don't walk without us. And so I thought that was very interesting that I just so happened to be sitting next to this family with a kid named Valentine, because I want to look it up right now of how rare is the name Valentine for a boy in 2023. How rare is the name Valentine for a boy in 2023? Okay, it's hard to find. It says that Valentine as a name has not been in the U.S.'s top 1,000 names for over half of a century. But it is currently in the top 100 in France and Belgium. So you see what I mean, guys? These things that happen. So that was very, very odd. She shouted it like 10 or 20 times. And so I felt like at that point, like I'm getting some kind of a message here. Like it's very, very strange. But that's what happens with me, is strange types of things like that. So we went, and then we went to Buffalo Wild Wings. And from Buffalo Wild Wings, I decided to go there because I just couldn't picture having a more special, like, birthday meal than, having some nice, delicious, spicy wings. And so I got one of their new flavors called Saucy Gardener Sauce, as I mentioned in another video. I also got honey barbecue and fries, and I got multiple ranch dressings just to make sure that I wouldn't run out, even though it was more calories. I just said, fuck the calories, it's my birthday, I don't give a fuck. And the lunch turned out to be really, really good. The only thing that didn't turn out to be really good was that I tried to watch Snow Day because I felt like, you know what? Snow Day would be a really good birthday movie. So I went to the special website to watch Snow Day. And it kept on pausing and pausing and pausing and pausing. So I was not able to watch the movie in peace. I had a terrible time trying to watch it. And so I just turned it off. And so that was the only thing that was kind of disappointing, was that I couldn't get through Snow Day, because I thought that was really the perfect movie to put on. I was in the mood for it. I was just like, yeah, this is what I want to watch. So after lunch was over, I thought about what the fuck do I do now? There's nothing else to do. What do I do now? So I decided to do something that was very, very important to do, which was finish my last miniature, building it, and so that I could shoot it and then not have to worry about that anymore. The building that I needed to build was, of course, this huge business building. And so what I had to do was I had to glue on 3 more walls in one of the top parts of the building. I had to finish the grass, and I had to finish painting the road, and I had to finish painting the window in the front of the building, and that's that. And while I was working on it, I watched a documentary about making a movie, a low-budget movie, and I thought that was fine. It was kind of a crappy documentary, though, honestly. I should have watched a regular movie or something. But I finished building it, but the funniest part was what happened when I was finishing building it. So I was carrying it to and from the bathroom to do stuff with it, to adjust things. Because, I also had to glue in these trees in the front of the miniature. And so while I was doing that, I accidentally rubbed black paint on the doors to the bathroom and my bedroom from the miniature. And so I was going back and forth like, what the fuck? And then I noticed it, and I kept on noticing it, that like it was in a new place, the black paint. It just kept on appearing and all over the place on these doors. So I had to keep on cleaning it off and cleaning it off. And then all of a sudden, I realized that I didn't glue on something right. And so I had to go in the bedroom to get more glue for the glue stick. And that was when I for some stupid reason, I wiped off the hot glue from the piece of cardboard that I was using. I wiped it off with my fingers, and so my fingers stuck together as I went into my room to quickly get the glue stick and glue it back on. And at the same time, I was getting black paint. I got black paint all over my shirt, and it was kind of like a cartoon, or I had my hand glued together, and I was getting black paint all over myself, and it was really funny. And I didn't mention that in the building video, and I probably should have, because that was the last thing that I did for that beautiful miniature. So then obviously I filmed that, and then I also had to heat up the dinner so that we could have that. And the dinner that I decided to get is actually the dinner that I wanted to get last year. Last year I wanted to get this New Orleans food because I love New Orleans and New Orleans food. And so I got shrimp and grits and turtle soup and chicken gumbo from the Commander's Palace in New Orleans. And surprisingly, it was a big deal, like heating up this fucking food. It was like a process that took like over an hour to heat up these soups. And then to make the shrimp and grits, I had to have Safi help me. But surprisingly though, cooking the shrimp was really, really easy. So all I had to do was heat up this skillet and then put the shrimp on there, cook the shrimp for like 30 seconds aside, and they were done. And then I put the sauce in and I heated that up too. And it's like I was like really surprised at how easy it was to cook shrimp, because like we have never cooked shrimp ever. So that was the first time that shrimp has ever been cooked like in our family. Usually we just get it pre-cooked. And I was like, this is fucking easy. I could do this all the time. And I would like to, because I like shrimp. So in terms of the dinner, what we did was Safi and we played Horror Trivial Pursuit while we were eating too, and heating up the dinner. And so in terms of the food, the shrimp and grits was pretty good. This is the first time I've ever had proper shrimp and grits, because in 2019 I did not have good shrimp and grits when we went to Illinois, and I had it at this hotel and it was terrible. And so I wanted to have like good shrimp and grits. And it was very, very good, the grits. It was kind of like savory cream of wheat. And then the shrimp were really good. They were really nicely seasoned. The only problem that I had was the sauce. the sauce was a little overly sweet, and so it kind of took away from the meal, because overall, like, I wanted the meal to be more savory like lunch was. Like, that beautiful, the wild wings, and their spicy sauces, their tasty sauces. I wanted the shrimp and grits to be like that, and instead, it was like this sweet meal. And then I tried the turtle soup, and I was not a fan of that at all, because it just tasted like dirt. It tasted like lentils. It had a very odd taste. And the problem wasn't like the meat. Like, I didn't think the meat tasted bad, because I did eat quite a bit of turtle. The problem was just the taste of the soup. And the soup might have been bad, so I might not have even tasted what the soup should have tasted like, because I did have some intestinal problems a couple hours later, and I am the only one who ate the soup, so that would be the only thing that would have caused that. But then the best part of the dinner was actually the chicken gumbo. This gumbo was really, really amazing. We still have some left over. I don't know if it's still good or not. Probably not. I don't want to take the chance. But it was really, really tasty. And it was amazing. It was thick. It was flavorful. The chicken was really good. And I felt like, honestly, should have just gotten this gumbo. Should have gotten this gumbo and then gotten, like, some other meal close by that would have been cheaper, and so that then I could have the appetizer of the New Orleans gumbo, and then the entree could be something that I knew was going to be good, because the shrimp and grits and then the turtle soup, honestly, I kind of regret getting a little bit. Well, actually, I kind of don't, because it's fine either way. And so then I actually watched the finale of Wednesday, which I would say that was one of the smarter decisions too, was reserving the finale of Wednesday for my birthday, because it was very, very entertaining, and it was something that I was glad to save for my birthday to finish that show, because I enjoyed every episode, and it was just a treat to finish that show. Oh, wait a second, I'm misremembering things. I finished it the next day, but okay. On my birthday, though, I watched a great episode of Wednesday, and I'm glad that I reserved the show to watch on that day as well, because there's nothing more that I would have liked to have watched than Wednesday on that day. And finally, we had the cake. And so that's pretty much all I did, guys. Like, I hardly did anything because of being sick, pretty much, unfortunately, the second year in a row. Of course, last year I wasn't sick on my birthday, so I guess that's something to say. But the cake was actually, I think, one of the best parts, because the cake, I got a cake with purple, orange, black, and white coloring, Halloween-y type of colors. And then I got a picture of Winona Ryder from Heathers on the cake, and that's what I wanted. I think that I'm not kidding you guys when I say this. I am being dead serious. I am going to get Winona Ryder on my cake for the rest of history, for the rest of time. Because look, here's the thing. If I can't meet her in person or anything ever, then I'm still gonna get like cake on my birthday with her face on, and I don't give a fuck. And so I for some reason, like, I am inclined to do that because it's fun. And so the frosting was mint, and then it was chocolate cake, of course. That's kind of like my preferred thing. I like to have chocolate cake with mint icing and then coffee ice cream. It's a very good combination. And yeah, I really, really like the cake. And the first slice that I made too, it was really funny. The first piece that I cut was of her boob, because like the picture had it to where, you know, you could do that, and so that was the slice that I cut. And I really enjoyed my cake and ice cream, and then I literally went to sleep. Like, this day was really, I don't even know how I made it to like 40 minutes talking about the day, because like, again, hardly anything happened. But I will say that, you know, it had its good moments to it, and so I still like it. So anyways, please like this video and comment, and then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more videos like this, if you even care. And so, yeah, goodbye, everybody. See you soon.